Being a Broadway performer is pretty cool.
And a lot of hard work.
Getting there is even harder.
We're going to tell you all about it.
I'm Adrienne Walker.
And I'm Austin Cook.
Welcome to 32 Bar Cut. Welcome to 32 Bar Cut, Broadway Banter. I am Adrienne Walker.
I'm Austin Cook.
And today we are going to chat about the top
eight worst
people.
Audience members that we can't stand. We do not like these 8 audience members. They need to go. They need to be shown the door. They need to have their tickets revoked. They need to be banned from the theater.
I wouldn't go that far. We appreciate your patronage. We appreciate your tickets. But we would prefer that you have a little better theater etiquette. And so that's what we're going to chat about today.
That's right. We're just going to try to learn and discuss and have some opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
My friends, we've all been here. We've all been, well, maybe not all, but we have done some of these things. And we need to not do them because it's distracting, not only for the actors. All right, we're not just speaking for ourselves. We're speaking for the audience members. Yeah. It's just distracting. People paid what? They took out a small loan to go to this show. They might have paid $2,000 for the family of 8 to go see this show. And then, you know what that reminds me of? You have to tell them our friend Michael has a famous quote that he likes to quote.
Michael Pottsick has this great quote. Whenever he goes to see theater, he sits down, he looks at everyone around him, and he says, "Who's going to ruin this for me today?" And these are the people that ruin Michael's theater experience.
I love that. So these are those people. Who is going to ruin this for me today? And somebody always does, my friends. Every Broadway show I see, I'm appalled by the behavior of some people. So let's get right into it. So who's the first person that we hate?
The first person is the Sickey-poo person.
Yes.
They came to the theater even though they knew they were sick. And post-COVID, this better not ever happen, okay? You are not allowed to show up to the theater with a cold. I don't care if you think it's minor. Excuse me, sir. Are you sick? That's already a thing where people will show up to theaters sick. I remember when I was in grad school, I went to the CSO, and I kid you not.
What's the CSO?
The Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Went to a performance at the CSO, and the guy next to me was so sick. He was hocked up on garlic pills. He smelled of garlic. He was sniffling the whole time. I was disgusted. I wanted to leave. And that's what we can no longer allow in the theater is the Sickey-poo, the cougher, the sneezer. I mean, you can't really help sneezing, but if you're sick, don't come to the theater. Tell them that you're sick. Maybe you can get a refund or come another time. Maybe you can give your ticket away, sell your ticket away, donate it. Don't come to the theater.
Don't come to the theater sick. We can't do that anymore. Yeah. That time has passed.
And I understand allergies. I had a terrible allergy incident.
Yes.
We were at Court Theater a few years ago seeing
Angels in America. And right at the very pivotal moment where one of the characters reveals that he is struggling with HIV, I got an allergic attack. And it's one of those coughs where your eyes are watering and it's burning in your throat and you're trying to suppress it, And I couldn't suppress it, and I had been trying to. As the scene was building up, I was like, I cannot cough. The theater only seats 250. It was very small. We were packed in. I was in the middle. I couldn't exit without disturbing at least 10 people on either side of me. And I had nothing. I think I might have had water. I don't know. No, I had to get some water. We couldn't find the water. Something happened. It was a whole event. The water was down below us, but it had rolled or something. And I was like, I need water. And Austin's looking at me like, you're embarrassing me. Well, because this was the scene. That scene in every play where it's it's silent. It's serious drama. Something really bad is about to happen. It's so serious. And she's having, I'm like, if you don't shut up, we're going to go ruin the play. I couldn't help myself. So I commiserate with anyone that has allergies and is experiencing those things. Bring cough drops. Don't be put in a position where you're going to disturb the show because you're about to have a little allergy attack.
So I never go to a show now without a little bit of water and some cough drops.
The number 2 person that we can't stand in the audience is the commentator. Yeah. The know-it-all.
They just want to tell you all the reviews they already read about the show and what's going to happen and who said what and Chris Jones said this about it. Nobody wants to hear that.
That's right.
Hush.
Look, some people like myself, we don't watch trailers. We don't read reviews. We want to go fresh into the play, open-minded, not being swayed by other people's opinions, and we want to see it completely from start to finish fresh.
Yeah.
We don't want to know the plot. We don't want to know if it's a comedy. We don't want to know if it's a drama. We don't want to know nothing. That's how I am. I like to see it fresh, just like experience it. So when you sit down and then you're saying, well, Ben Brantley gave this 1 star and he said it's really bad, but I guess we'll give it a chance.
I read that they hang one of the characters in the second act. Why?
Why would you do that?
Or I heard that the whole play is in reverse, or just anything like
that.
Don't assume that everyone knows as much information as you, or that anyone wants that information. It is just so unacceptable.
That's rude. Why would you do that? I remember, was it Harry Potter? There was some play that I went to. It was some play. We went
to a play,
and people were
they were talking.
And we're not going to spoil it for you. Yeah. We're not going to spoil it, but people were saying spoilers or discussing spoilers that were going to happen in the play, or even the fact for me, say there's a play that has in the second act, I'm making this up so it's not a spoiler. It's in the second act, say that the stage goes out and there's sand everywhere. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know that. I want to be awed and surprised by the sand and magical. But people are like, oh, there's sand. I wonder where they're putting it. There's sand in the second, and you hear the Can you please be quiet? We want to have the illusion of the show and theater. Please don't ruin it.
And and then it's the other thing is that you these know-it-alls usually assume that the amount of information they're giving is still just not a spoiler. But for people like us, anything is a spoiler. If you tell me the runtime of the movie, it has spoiled something for me. I don't want to know anything.
Right.
I don't want to know anything. I want to be shocked and awed and surprised. I don't care if it's, like Hadestown and based on a Greek tragedy. I don't care. Maybe they did something different with the ending. I don't know.
Right.
Just silence yourself.
That's the thing that people do a lot is they'll say, no spoiler.
No, it's not that bad.
No, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. But I just want to know to tell me what you think about the ending. Well, now I'm expecting in my brain the whole show. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. The whole show I'm waiting. Well, such and such said that there's this crazy ending or that something's going to happen. So that's all I can think about. Yeah. I can't even watch the play now because you put in my mind that there's something I have to be looking for the ending. Just don't talk. Don't say anything. Say, enjoy the show. Have a wonderful time. I don't know something. Don't spoil it for other people.
The next person on the list that we can't stand at this theater situation is, we said extrovert, but I feel like this is the person that comes in and they just they want to show their outfit. They've got a big hat on. They've got big hair. They want you to see, look at how I dressed for the theater.
Hey, we love that. We think it's awesome to dress up for the theater. I think that's awesome. What is the problem with this?
People can't see.
It's the hairdo, my friends.
Yeah.
It's the updo, okay?
The updo,
it's the flat top,
the big hair.
18 inches.
Anything like that, it makes it really difficult for the people behind you to see. And you would think, yeah, duh, that's obvious. Not so obvious. I have been to several shows where someone is blocking my sight of vision just simply because of their hair choice that day or their hat choice that day. And it's also reflective gear too falls in this category, because when people wear sport gear to the theater and the lights go dark and our lights come up, but the house lights are dark, guess what? You're wearing reflective gear. It's made so people can see you in the dark. We can see you. It's just like a floating shirt or a floating, I haven't seen a headband yet, but a floating hat, reflective hat or a floating logo. It's distracting.
No reflective
You might
gear.
as well have a computer screen on your face.
Yeah, it's really bad, actually. This has happened a lot on tour. because the stage managers get on and they'll say, go to such and such has a flashlight. Such and such is filming the show. Turns out they go down there, it's their shirt. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, man, it's so bright to the actors on stage. You probably don't realize it. But since there's 1 million gigawatts of light wattage happening on stage shining down, I'm telling you, it reflects like a beam, like a tractor beam.
So, we are all for people dressing nicely in the theater. Just no hats, no big hair, no sportswear. Please, for the love of God. And also in the same category, I would say, just for people being able to see, is that if you're with your spouse and you want to lay on their shoulder while you're watching the show, just remember that seats are made in windows, kind of like choir. And so if you're laying like this, your head is in someone's window and they just can't see the show they paid $250 for. And it's, you shouldn't put yourself in a position where someone has to ask you, excuse me, can you take your head off your spouse's shoulder so I can see? You shouldn't have to, people shouldn't have to.
Don't move your head around. Just sit still.
Yeah, you don't need to, because you're doing that, and guess what?
The people behind you, they're just like everybody.
And the people behind them,
all of a sudden,
the people behind them, everyone's just, just like a nice neutral, find your comfort spot so that everyone can adjust.
Yes.
And then we can all enjoy the show and be civilized and leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, but we can do it together.
No, I believe that everyone's watching this does this all so well. We're like preaching to the choir.
No, I don't think we're preaching to the choir. I know some of you watching. I'm talking to you.
Oh my.
Okay? They like.
Okay, so
the number 4 worst person we hate is the latecomer.
The latecomer.
You know who you are, Brian. You know who you are. Sorry, we had to call out one of our friends.
Yeah, latecomer.
The latecomer. Don't be late.
You invested money in this show.
What are you doing?
Or someone got you tickets to this show. And I don't care if the show is $5 or $500. People they're putting it on. They set a time. Be there on time. You're inconveniencing people when you're late.
Yeah.
If you're not like running down the aisle and distracting an actor, you are going through to your seat and distracting all these people that were on time.
Yes.
And now you're making their experience less than what it should be because you couldn't bother to be on time.
Let me say it this way, too. Let's think about this a little differently. Do you know that the opening number in a musical is like the number they put the most effort into? The opening number is always a big deal in rehearsals, in musical theater. It sets up the show. It establishes, they put a lot of work into it. There's always the ensembles. It's always like a big, huge to-do. The opening number is like the thing in musical theater. So not only do you miss out on the opening number, which sets up the whole show, you're also causing, as Adrienne said, all of those people behind you. We're talking dozens of people behind you. Actually, the entire theater.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the back row, the entire theater, because everyone's watching the show that's happening during the opening number.
Excuse me.
And all those people that have to get up awkwardly.
That's my seat right there.
You have ruined the show. Yeah. Don't do that.
And the theater environment is such that, well, I don't know what it'll be when we return, but it's such that you have concessions and you have souvenirs and things that you can look at, and that you can sit down and peruse your playbill. So there are things to do to get you settled in, and you don't have to be late. You don't have to be there right on time. You can be 30 minutes early. It's great. It feels good. Just sit down.
I know it's hard. Some of this is cultural. We all have our own cultural ways of whether we're on time or not.
What are you talking about?
We have got to overcome. I'm talking to Brian now again, because Brian likes to be like, that's just who I am. That's who I am. I'm just always late. Brian, you got to get to the theater on time, my friend.
Our next person, and you may have been this person, because I know y'all like your bootlegs. I know you do. But this person has taken upon themselves to record the show. Mm-mm. They are going to get this. They're going to get this moment and put it on YouTube and go viral. They are going to get this moment on the tubes. And let me tell you, we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
Taping, okay? We see you with your playbills covering up the screen and taping the show. We see you. I don't care what row you're on. we see you and it's disrespectful and we don't appreciate it. I myself have enjoyed a bootleg or two, but I know how they got up there and it's not cool. Live theater is live theater. Respect that.
Yes, and there's many reasons to this. I mean, we all, it detracts from the art itself, number one, of course, but it also looks like junk. The bootlegs look like junk.
And it sounds terrible.
You make our performances look like crap, and then you put it on the internet, and everyone's like, that's the big show that everyone's, well, yeah, because it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. Your camera recording skills are not that good. So, well, nowadays with these new iPhones, I mean, we might as well be in 4K. They're getting bootlegs now. I mean, new bootlegs might be great. Anyway, but don't do it. And let me tell you an especially terrible story, okay? There was an article. Remember this? When Audra did...
Frankie and Johnny?
Frankie and Johnny.
In the Claire de Lune.
Which Frankie and Johnny has some nudity in it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man caught recording the show. There's nudity in it. What are you doing?
It's unacceptable.
What are you doing?
It's unacceptable because there is a certain level of trust.
Yes.
In the theater. There's trust on stage amongst actors, amongst the crew. There's trust to the musicians and the music director. But that trust also extends to the audience members and the patrons, that we're sharing this experience together, that we're sharing this one-time experience together. And when people record, you are breaking that trust.
Yeah. Okay. The number, what are we on, 6?
I think so.
Yeah, the number 6 person we can't stand. I'll tell you, this is a big problem. We're about to highlight a big problem. The number 6.
I can't think of one show I have performed at the Lion King where this didn't happen.
The number 6 person we can't stand. We despise.
The texter.
The texter.
The Instagrammer. The tweeter. The person that can't get off of their phone to watch a show that has an intermission. That person.
During the show, we're talking about. During pre-show, hey,
face
post it up.
Aglow.
Post it up.
Because they're just like this. And
face is glowing.
You would think that this sort of thing doesn't happen on the front row. It does.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that this certain thing doesn't happen on the front row of a show with tickets that cost upwards of $200, $300, $500.
We see it.
It does.
It happens.
And it's remarkable to me that people would spend that much money on a show, show up, and then have the audacity to be on their phone the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We are human beings. We are on stage.
Real people.
Giving a performance. We can see this.
Yeah, it's really distracting. But at this point, we know you don't care about being distracting.
No, you don't care about being distracting. It's just you care about making sure you, scroll through Instagram while you listen to the Lion King. I don't know.
It's really bad because not only is it bad for you, but the people, I know you think that the people behind you have no idea that your phone is on. Everybody behind you can see that it's on. The balcony can see that your phone is on. It's so distracting.
It's so distracting.
And you're like, it's causing eyes to go to you. Even if for a split second, they're missing the show. They're missing the actor's
But it's also the experience. It's like you are in a theater and you are in the world that whatever that show has created. So phones don't exist right now, especially your phone, because you're not a part of the show.
You know what I just thought of that I really dig is Freestyle Love Supreme. Remember when that was on Broadway? Freestyle Love Supreme made you put your phones in those pouches that they're doing a lot now for concerts and for like tapings and like special TV tapings and stuff. We had to put our phone in the thing. They locked it up. You can't get to it.
Yeah.
You can't get to the phone. It's locked up. So
and that keeps people,
that's the solution.
because time has told us that we cannot trust the audience to do what they are asked to do.
I have one more important pro tip in this category. You know what it is?
What's that?
Apple Watch, Fitbits. Let me tell you the problem with this. Every time you applause, and you don't even know this is happening, you applaud, the thing lights up. The thing lights up. It's lighting up. Everybody's seeing. It's distracting. Let me tell you, there's a cool little setting in here, my friends. You just swipe up from the bottom. I'm swiping up. And then when I swipe up, I hit the little... The theater face. There's this drama mask.
The drama faces.
The drama masks are there. You hit the drama mask, your phone won't do that light up thing. See how it just stays dark. You gotta hit that. Don't forget. Sometimes I forget and I'm like, oh no, my drama mask. I gotta hit that. The Apple Watches are a big problem now, so watch that.
You know what? There was one thing a story I forgot to mention about the latecomer.
What's that?
Well, in The Lion King, there was one show, and this only happened to me once that I remember acutely, but I guess someone was returning from the restroom because I don't start, but I'm shortly after Act 2 starts. So I can understand someone coming back from the restroom a little late. And they were sprinting down the aisle to get to their seat. Now, let me tell you, if you are on stage, especially right on the aisle where I was, because I was singing the climactic part, Giza Booyabo, at the end of Shadowland, if you see someone sprinting towards you, it puts the fear of God in you. I thought they were coming to rush the stage. I thought they were coming to tackle me. I didn't know what was happening. I almost stopped singing and ran off. Like I almost didn't finish. I had a moment of thinking, I need to run. I need to protect myself. So I understand we all have whatever kind of bladder situations. If you find yourself in a position where you had to wait too long at intermission and you missed coming back to your seat on time, walk calmly to your seat. It is okay.
Yeah, that's scary. That sounds horrifying. That sounds like terrifying. A nightmare. Like Get Out.
Yeah.
You're like.
And they were like on the 4th row. So they sprinted the whole way down and I just almost lost my breath. So anyway, the next one.
The number 7 person that we can't stand at the theater is the sleeper.
The sleeper. Brian, this is you too. You know it. We love you, but
Brian might be guilty of 4 out of 8. It's maybe 5 out of 8.
Yeah.
This episode's for Brian.
Yeah. Anyway,
the sleeper reenactment.
Yeah, we've had people snore. We've had people snore so loudly that the whole cast is talking about it. The crew is talking about it. Yep. So I get it. I get it. You came to the theater. You thought you could do that 8 p.m. show after you just trekked all over New York and you're tired and this is not your schedule. Get a little pick-me-up. Get a little beverage or something that'll help you stay alert because we see you. And it doesn't feel good to do a show and know that you're putting people to sleep.
Or do the pinching technique. Have you ever employed the pinching technique?
No.
When I'm tired, I'll be sitting watching a show and I'll just pinch my skin like under my arm and it wakes you up. If you pinch, you're just like, you just get a little pinch.
Because I have been to plays with a lot of dialogue, speeches, and it's, I've been busy or something. I'm really tired, and it has been a struggle to stay awake. So I understand it completely, but just know that if you are falling asleep, someone probably feels disrespected, hurt feelings, all that stuff.
That's right. I'm sure you can get on Amazon with like a little prop up for your chin so that way you can fall asleep like this and then no one will know. That might be acceptable.
I don't know about that. Because if you're still snoring, it's like, it's wild. It's wild.
Well, all right, this is the last one. We only have one more. And before we do, we should do a little word from our sponsor, 32 Bar Cut. Recently we got a donation.
We did get a donation.
And we've been getting a lot more of purchases from the store. People buying T-shirts. People buying. We just want to say thank you for all of that. That really means a lot to us, and it helps us pay for all of these expenses for the studio and all the stuff we're trying to do, which is really expensive. And we want to be able to have this content free for you.
And we want to continue to do it when we go back to work too. So if we feel like we have your support, then we'll feel more encouraged to, keep it going. But we do feel like we have your support. We just want to say thank you. We see you and we acknowledge it and we're grateful.
And if you can't support financially, that's no problem. Thank you for supporting just with the like button and subscribing with the notification bell on and commenting,
Say
just
hello
engaging
to us.
with us. We'd love to hear your comments, your questions and all that. So, don't hesitate to continue to reach out to us. We're here for you.
Are y'all ready for the final person?
The final person is
the early exiter.
The early Exeter. Oh, the worst.
What could be more disrespectful?
We saved the worst for last.
Than sitting and enjoying the whole show or play or whatever performance you're in, and all you can think about is getting out the door before everyone else and rudely ignoring the curtain call.
Ignoring the curtain call, it really is a slap in the face. I mean, it really is. Mm-hmm. The actors, but we get it. I mean, I get it. Just being like, we understand it. It comes from not appreciating the art form, really. Because it can feel like we're so used to movie culture and just like seeing things and like being so convenient and handed to, like there really can be a disconnect in the fourth wall of like, oh, that's just happening.
Yeah.
And that like those people, everybody is a living, breathing human being putting on, in Broadway's case and regional theater and all these shows, really amazing work.
Yeah.
And the crew and the ushers and the whole team of hundreds of people that are putting on this show, the least you could do, even if you didn't like the show, you don't have to do a standing ovation. I don't believe in standing ovations automatic. I don't believe in it. You can sit down, but at least to put your hands together just means thank you, at least respectful for the time.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
You don't have to stand up and hoot and holler and, scream and shout and applaud, but you don't have to leave early either.
Right. Just stay at least out of some respect from one human being to another human being. There is a little bit of respect there. Yeah. And then maybe that's just me. Maybe that's the way I grew up or my beliefs. But I think you could take the extra 5 minutes in life and just show some respect to the people who just put on this thing for you.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone that watches this channel is that person.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would hope not.
But those are our top 8 people that or audience goers that we can't stand. And we've experienced this either on the stage, watching this happen, or in the audience, watching it happen.
And also, before we go, talk about instant karma.
What are you talking about?
With the early Exeter, do you know how many times I've seen a show where the early Exeter leaves a curtain call and then there's a whole nother bonus number at the end?
And they missed it.
Sometimes in like $1 Million Quartet's case or Mamma Mia, there's a whole dance party and like a whole
Tina Turner.
Huge, there's like a whole huge like song concert after the bows. And they missed out. I've seen so many people like completely miss it. Or now they left their front row seat and they're standing in the back and they're like, wait, what? There's more?
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Oh my
gosh, I just realized I did a spoiler. I'm so sorry.
You did a spoiler?
Yeah, I just said, I just named a couple shows that have that. And maybe people hadn't seen it.
Well, that's okay.
Is it okay?
Broadway's shut down right now. That's the only thing saving us. Broadway's shut down, so
okay. We've taken your time enough. So Thank you for watching. We will see you next time on Broadway Banter. In the meantime, break legs, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.